Everyone, it is the third Tuesday. Kevin, I'm going backwards in time. It is the third Wednesday of the month, and it's time for Fast Facts and Features with me, the brand ambassador for the Ethical Flooring located in North Vancouver. I always come to you live from my home kitchen, kind of pretending like I'm you, looking at Ethical Flooring's Facebook page so you can understand what the showroom's all about. So good afternoon, Kevin. It's good to see parts of you again.
Yeah, thank you, Jeanette. Nice to see you as well.
So practicing safety always in your showroom. Love it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we've got everything that you need here to stay safe.
Okay, so what section of the showroom are you in today?
So we're in the front portion here, which is our hardwood section, and I am standing in front of one of our favorite brands, which we're going to talk about today, which is Mirage Hardwood. So it's one of the 4 primary brands that we carry downstairs in the main floor. So as we talked about in previous weeks, as a client comes in through the front door, they'll immediately see that on the right is our engineered hardwood section, and then on the left is the carpet. And that encompasses the beginning or the primary part of the showroom. And then we have space in the back for vinyl plank, laminate. We have a second floor area as well for some other products. But this is kind of the meat of where we spend our time. And, you know, the team and I spend an awful lot of time standing in front of this display. So it's a good place to talk about today.
Okay, excellent. You know what? Just for fun, a question that some people may not know. But the difference between engineered hardwood floor, let's have a little tip right now off the top. The difference between engineered hardwood floor and where it needs to go in a build and where solid, because I do know Mirage does make a solid product as well for some applications. So can you tell us those 2 areas on where you'd use each one of those 2 floors?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of confusion around that we have to do some education when a client comes through the door. So I'll just pretend you're a typical client, and you know they don't know these things, which is fine. Most people have never shopped for flooring before, so it's all very new to them. So a solid wood floor is a traditional wood floor. So it's 3/4 of an inch thick, or people that like metric, it's 19 millimeters. It's made, as the name implies, out of a solid piece of wood. So whether it's maple or oak or hickory or whatever the case may be, it's essentially a piece of tree milled out with a tongue and a groove, a 3/4 inch thick, and then you can get it in various widths as well. It needs to be nailed down into a plywood subfloor. It can't be installed what we call below grade or in a basement or anywhere below ground level, and it can't be installed obviously on concrete. So these are some of its major limitations. And then you also, for safety's sake, because of expansion and contraction issues, you really shouldn't, a solid wood floor should really only be a narrow width board, maybe up to a maximum of 4¼ inches. Beyond that, which is the majority of what people are buying now, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, even 9 inches wide, the floor just becomes 2-dimensionally unstable. And at that point, you're much better off to go with an engineered floor.
Okay, and an engineered floor is typically, I know we had Alan on last week and we've had Matt on explaining flooring. So engineered hardwood flooring is typically, if we set a Reader's Digest version of how is an engineered hardwood floor made?
Yeah, so each manufacturer will do it a little bit differently. But the 2 primary ones that we see is, so you'll have a top layer of the actual hardwood. So let's say oak today is very popular, white oak in particular. So it'll have a top layer anywhere from 1 millimeters up to 6 millimeters thick of the actual hardwood. And then they'll have a base layer, which is typically made out of plywood, or more commonly now they're using softwoods like spruce, pine, and fir. And basically they're creating a sandwich. In both of the systems, they're creating the same outcome, which is they're creating a sandwich or a crosshatched layer of wood, so that as we move through the seasons, as we move through hot temperature and cold temperature, as we move through high humidity and low humidity, the intention is that the floor will keep its shape that we intended to, and so you're not going to get gaps in the boards and creaking and cracking and these kind of things. So that's the intention behind it. And obviously some people do it very, very well and put a lot of research behind it and make a beautiful product. Others you know, they'll knock it off and make it for pennies on the dollar, but you know, that's the quality and that's the value that you get as well too. So not all engineered floors are created equal. That's for sure.
It's a when I heard you say like 1 millimeter, I'm like, oh, that's like a piece of paper, for heaven's sakes. I can just imagine
It is, yeah.
that floor not sustaining. So tell me, say 3 key highlights about the Mirage hardwood flooring that is behind you.
Yeah, perfect. So like I mentioned, we love Mirage, and one of the key reasons is that it is a 100% Canadian-made product. So it all comes out of St. George, Quebec. Canada actually has a world-class hardwood flooring manufacturing industry, all based in Quebec, a little bit in Ontario. So Mirage is one of those. And I've worked with a number of the brands over the years, and we work exclusively with Mirage out of those kind of big 4 that I call them, because we found them to be the best quality in terms of consistent quality, order by order. There's just no brand that I've worked with that matches them in terms of you know, performance, and then in terms of quality. I think over the years we've carried it, we've maybe had 1 issue out of all of those, and it was maybe 2 boards out of the whole project. So that was a fairly easy fix. We just pulled them out and put new ones back in. So to have that as a failure rate over hundreds of thousands of square feet, if not more, I've never met a manufacturer that can match that. So
if I can pause you just for a second, because something that just came to my mind. I know when I was in the industry, there would be some people that would come in and say, hey, you know, right now I really can only do the main level of my house. And I might think about doing hardwood floor, you know, upstairs or downstairs if it's a 3-level house. So when I hear the word consistency, meaning, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 years down the road, where I want to come in and go, hey, Kevin, it's time to now do the upstairs. It's now time to do the downstairs. Consistency in that I'm going to get the same grade. I'm going to get the same color. I'm going to get the same, you know, finish, that it's all going to look the same. And that to me as a customer, is that something that Mirage can lay claim to?
It's true. Yeah. I call it a built-in insurance policy, because you're right. A lot of people do additional work down the road. And if you buy something kind of off the shelf or that's mass produced, the chances of it being available in 2-3 years is almost 0. So Mirage, well, essentially, as far as I've worked with them, any product that they've ever sold, provided they can still get the lumber, they're going to remake that floor for you, even if it's been discontinued for 4 or 5, 6 years. So that's a huge advantage. Like you said, if a lot of people put wood on one level of their home and then they rebuild their budget and they go, you know what, we love this, we love the Mirage floor, we want to do it in our upstairs now. And even if the floor got discontinued, which happens, because flooring is a fashion industry, just like clothing is. So, you know, things are always getting refreshed and always getting changed. But Mirage keeps the recipes for, you know, all of the products that they've ever made, and they will happily custom make you whatever you want or whatever you had. So that's and we deal with that a lot, you know. And as a retail showroom, we get people all the time, I bought this floor 4 years ago, I bought it 5 years ago, I bought it 10 years ago. Either I need some more because of a flood or some sort of damage, or they just want to add on. And you know, outside of a semi-custom manufacturing like Mirage partakes in, you're just not going to find that. It's like I said, the average life cycle of a floor now is probably 2 years, maybe 3 years. And then it gets turned over into a new color, new plank width, new finish. And, you know, with these large factories that mass produce product, you're never going to get them to make that floor for you again. So yeah, it's not something that people think about, but it's definitely a huge kind of built-in advantage.
Okay, well, we're coming up to our time. So you know what, we're going to hold fact number 2 and number 3 about Mirage flooring for next week, because normally the 3rd Wednesday we have one of the team members and they're all out working on projects. So I'm very grateful that Kevin, you were available.
You get me.
Yeah, our fast facts and features.
Yeah.
So let's continue part 2 and 3 of the Mirage next Wednesday when we visit the showroom again.
That's perfect. Yeah, there's so much to talk about with it that I think that's a great idea.
Awesome. Oh, and just to wrap up, it is the long weekend in Canada. What are your store hours, please, for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
Yeah, so Monday is the holiday, so we're closed, all statutory holidays, just to give the staff time off and to
Okay.
decompress. Saturday, we will have some staffing, and that's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
And Sunday, we're closed every Sunday. So if you're planning to shop, then Saturday would be your day.
Perfect. That way people know what they're doing for this weekend. So
You bet.
enjoy this weekend with your family. It's the first, I think, kickoff to summer, as we like to call it, where we live, and get outside and enjoy, and say hello to a tree while you're out there, because my gosh, they give us some beautiful floors for the interior of our house. So have a great weekend, Kevin, and I'll see you back next Wednesday
Thank
at
you. You
2
bet.
o'clock for another Fast Facts and Features with me, the brand ambassador for Ethical Flooring. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.